Alright, today we're going to be doing a spacer lift here on a 2002 Toyota Tundra. The year should be 01 to 04, we believe. Very simple, hopefully. Get in there, break the spacer or the coil apart, and we'll get the spacer installed. So shortly we'll have you seeing where it goes. We're starting off by jacking the truck up. Make sure you have your proper jacks, wheels chocked, safety first. And we're going to remove the rim first and give you another glimpse. Just go for it. Next step is you're going to remove your lug nuts and get the rim off. This is the setup here, and our spacer is going to be put right into the section there. So the strut has to get dropped out with the coil. You can see the bolts on the bottom there. It has a nut and a bolt going through it. Then we have the 3 bolts on top there that got to come off. And then we got to break the upper arm apart right here from the spindle arm that you can see there. So that's going to be our next step, is getting that taken apart there.
So we're going to have to do that.
You want to get started by breaking off these 3 nuts up here that keep the strut in place. We have this one broke loose, this one broke loose. So once that's done, you're going to start walking them out. There's a third one in the back you got to get to. Once you've walked off the nut on this side, this bolt has to be walked out. You can start by hitting the part of it with the hammer. Once that gets to a certain point, you're going to want to get this flathead hammer in there, or a punch if you have one, which is better. Tap the back with the hammer, and that's going to walk your bolt right on through. Very careful on your threads. Right here, there it is. Bottom bolt nut off. Upper 3 off, and you get strut in your hand, coil next to the teardown. Once you have the strut or the coil and shock there in your hand, what we're going to be using is a spring compressor to compress the coil here and allow you to safely remove the top upper part of the strut in order to get the coil out of there, so we can add our spacer, which goes in this section here. So we're getting that set up there, and we'll let you know how that goes in a minute. Okay, now that our spring is compressed, what we did was we loosened up the upper nut right here, and that allowed us to slide this around whatever way we needed to, keeping everything stationary. So the reason for this is you need to line back up. These 3 bolts have to line back up with the bottom bolt. So what you do, what we did is we took a picture of how this sat, in which it sat right there, about that position. The reason we have to keep position of this is because once you put your spacer on, now the new nuts or the bolts are offset. So we'll put it on and we'll show you how we lined it up. As you can see, the factory studs have moved now. They were originally here. That's where our new spacer is going to be at. So that's, got to keep track of your measurement. Now we're going to tighten down the center nut and washer to get the spring, or actually the strut, back in tight inside the spring. So at this point here, we're ready to reinstall our strut with the new spacer in there. We went for it without breaking off the ball joint first. Didn't work. We couldn't get enough. Well, probably with a crowbar, pry bar, you can get in there, but we didn't have those tools on us, so we ended up splitting the ball joint. So that should make it easy, super easy for us to walk this bottom piece on and bolt up and then reconnect. So next step is getting our bolt pushed through right here. I already have my 3 nuts on top up here holding this strut in place for me. Now we're going to walk the center bolt on down here.
They got fucked a little bit.
Right here we have the strut in place. Note, you need to remove the mount right there for the brake line and get yourself some play. Bring the line down after you break the ball joint here. And maybe a heavy friend would help you. You need some weight to step on this, you know, to get it down. I'm sure there's a proper mechanical way to do this, but we're not mechanics, so we're just giving it the best we got, and so far we haven't broken anything. So all right, at the point, this point here, we got our brake line fastened back in. Make sure you're adjusted right. Then we're bolted on the bottom there. If you can see, we have our bottom bolt and nut tightened down. Then you cannot forget these. We got some Loctite on there. Hopefully that helps us out. Tighten up your 3 caps on top, and then once your spindle gets back in place here, you're gonna get the crown nut on top, fasten down, make sure the ball joint's fully in, nice and tight. Never forget your cotter pin, always. Without this, the nut is gonna walk out, ball joint's gonna fall off, and you're gonna go right with this wheel or left, or actually you'll camber out and things will tilt in. So make sure the cotter pin's in there. Can't forget that, guys. Next step now for us is just to get the rim on, take it off the jack stands, and see how it looks. Guys, so we're all put back together, minus cap there, but no biggie. 3-inch spacer level lift is what we have here. Tire size, we were running, Mike?
285, 75, 16.
285, 75, 16 right there. We bought these just for a mock-up. He just wanted to see if the tires would fit and clear these, so tomorrow morning it's off to the tire shop. New tires on the way. So there it is, guys. Tundra, 3-inch spacer level. Have fun.